Hey guys, Joseph James here once again with another newsletter brought to theschooloftrade.com. Today was October 12th, 2009. Guys, before we talk about the trades we took today, of course, had a half holiday today here in the room. I want to remind you guys of our free resource online. Go to our YouTube page / School of Trade. And guys, when you're there, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and please rate and comment on this video. Now, we took one trade today. It was a winner. Put our first $80 in our pocket this week. Of course, October 12th here was today. Brings our weekly total to $80 and our monthly total to $4,100 and some change there. So daily total $80, weekly total $80, and monthly total here $4,100. Now, of course, coming out of an 80% return week last week, had a fantastic week last week. A couple days there, we almost had 4 digits there on our daily totals there from last week, and we'll keep you guys posted as we work our way through the month of October. Today's term today is the trigger line. Now, what is this trigger line we talk about? It's a dynamic, which means always recalculating or always changing technical indicator. Okay, so we call this a trigger line. It's another one of those proprietary indicators available to our lifetime members. And again, it's a dynamic indicator as opposed to a static indicator that never changes. This is a dynamic indicator, so it's always recalculating, it's always changing. Now, we use this trigger line a lot of different ways. One way we use it is for our entries. Now, of course, you guys are aware we use 3 different entry techniques in our trade room. We teach over 10 techniques, but we specify on only 3 of them in our live trade room to keep it nice and simple for you guys. But basically, these 3 patterns, the wave, the breaker, and the 2-step, have different uses of this trigger line. So, of course, the wave setup, a trend continuation pattern, we want to make sure the trigger line is above a recent swing high or swing low. So for a wave, it needs to be above a swing high or swing low. For a breaker setup, we want to wait and watch to make sure that this trigger line is nice and steep. So I want to have a nice steep slope to my trigger line to make sure that I can take that breaker pattern. And then lastly, for a 2-step pattern, it's an additional layer of risk that I must be aware of where it is. So for a 2-step pattern, it's a support and resistance level that I need to be aware of where it is so I can avoid trading into that level. So 3 patterns, 3 different ways to use the trigger line. Now, the most important part of the trigger line is going to be its slope or its lack of slope. Now, a vertical trigger line will signify a trending market, right? A vertical up trigger line will be the buyers have control. A vertical down trigger line will be the sellers have control. And of course, if you see a horizontal or no slope on your trigger line, then of course that indicates a sideways market, no defined control. And as you guys heard me say before, one of the biggest mistakes we can make as traders is trading without an idea of who has control. So we avoid taking trades when we have a lack of slope or a horizontal trigger line. And of course, we look forward to taking trades with a vertical or a nice steep slope to that trigger line. That, of course, signifies a trending market. Now, I also want to remind you guys, last but not least, that these trigger lines are also thought to be major support and resistance on slower time frames, so watch out for them. If you're trading on a 1-minute chart is your fast time frame, and your 10-minute chart is your slower time frame, we got to pay attention to where that trigger line is on your 10-minute chart, right? So got to make sure you're aware these are major levels of support and resistance on slower time frames, so we're always watching out for them. Now, guys, as always, I'm going to show you guys more about what it looks like in real time. This is what it's going to look like on your charts, though. When you come in the live trade room, this is going to be a good example of what this trigger line is going to look like on your charts. Right there in the center in yellow. And as you can see, it's a dynamic indicator. It's always recalculating as price moves. And we use this trigger line, whether it be for the patterns we use, entries and exits, and, of course, overall market sentiment we use this trigger line for. Again, I'm going to show you guys live in real time tomorrow morning, so come out and join us, how we use this trigger line in addition to all the other technical indicators we offer to our members. Of course, tomorrow's a Tuesday, so we open up at 2:45 a.m. Eastern Time on Tuesdays for the European session. We also have an open up at 7:45 a.m. Eastern Time, of course, for the U.S. session. So 2 times, come out and join us tomorrow morning, Tuesday. 2:45 a.m. Eastern Time for the European session, 7:45 for the U.S. session, and of course, Tuesdays and Thursdays we also have free webinars at 11:30 Eastern Time. And don't forget, guys, if you're coming out and joining us for the first time tomorrow, or if you're looking for more information about the indicators we use, the pattern setups, the rules, the time frames, the stops, the targets, it's all included, guys, in that beginner's course, so pick up a copy of that today. All right, let's take a look at some of the trades we took today. Now, we only took 1 trade this morning, so of course, only had 1 to report here. Market was pretty quiet all day. Now, of course, today was kind of a half holiday, and a half holiday meaning that we had a major federal holiday here in the U.S. We had Columbus Day today. It was actually Thanksgiving Day in Canada, our neighbors to the north. So happy Thanksgiving to all of our Canadian members out there and our guests from Canada. Hope you guys had a good holiday today. We, of course, call this a half holiday because the markets were open, but only the electronic trading. So we still had, of course, the open and close. We still had all the, the major things that we look for every day, but we saw about half the volume as we normally see. Now, normally when we have holidays like this, it's oftentimes going to be a good day to practice patience and discipline, and that's exactly what we had to do today here on the Crude. Of course, this morning we watched the DAX, we watched the Russell, the Euro, we watched the S&P, we looked at the gold for a little bit, and also, of course, crude oil futures. We talked a lot about the differences between these couple markets we trade. We looked for patterns all morning, guys, since we opened up at 7:30 this morning. Really only saw a couple very basic patterns, and this was one of them. 10:08 here, just after 10 o'clock on the Crude again. This is a breaker long. Entry here was at 73.78. Now, this was a little bit of a higher risk trade. If you guys were in the room with us this morning, we really didn't get very many slam dunk opportunities this morning just because the volume was pretty low. We, of course, had some big round numbers at 73 and 72 and 71.5 that we had to be careful about on the Crude here. But for the most part, by the time this thing got up and moving this morning, it was going sideways, and we really didn't have much chance to really get much going here. Of course, we expected this to be happening on a half holiday like this without much volume in the market. So nonetheless, we were prepared to wait. We waited patiently. This was a little bit higher risk because we had less than 6 ticks worth of room above us. But this, of course, trade here at 73.78 into the high of the day, of course, had just enough room to get it taken. Had some nice big buyers that jumped in. Momentum curled at the upside. So it gave us a lot of reasons to be excited about this trade, even though, of course, we didn't have much going on in the market as a whole. But this one, of course, got us our first 8 ticks, took our first target there at +4. Came, of course, right back down, as you can see here, crashing down below. Our entry was moved to our point of entry after our first target was taken. So we didn't have to worry about making that, taking a loss in this trade at all. It still maintained a winner, but as you can see, just one trade here for 80 bucks, and that's where you guys get your 8 ticks on the Crude today, and of course, your $80 in your pocket for today's total. Want to remind you guys also, come out and join us tomorrow morning, 2:45 a.m. Eastern Time for the European session, 7:45 Eastern Time for the U.S. session. We'll trade any market, guys, live calls with entries, targets, and stops. We'll show you guys how we manage our trades, how we take profits when we exit. We'll teach you guys how to pretty much do everything we do here in the live trade room. Plenty of opportunity for questions, guys, so bring your questions, stay all day. And after your free 3-week trial, guys, you're going to see this market in a completely different way. So come on and join us. Want to remind you also, for more information about lifetime membership, please drop us an email at sales@schooloftrade.com. Please rate and comment on this video. And as always, guys, if you're coming out tomorrow morning, join us the first time, grab a copy of the beginner's course. That's going to give you all the information about who, what, where, when, and why, so you guys get more information and you can make the most out of your free 3-week trial. Again, guys, my name is Joseph James. Glad you guys had a good holiday today here on Monday. Hoping to see some more volume tomorrow, get some more trades taken. Again, hope the video helps. We'll see you guys in the room tomorrow, mate. Bye-bye for now.